Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate clicking on that video as always. And we are back with another weekly wears video where I go over every fragrance that I wore all 7 days last week. So if that's content that you think you want to see more of, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see you guys come back. To all my new subscribers, thank you. And my OG subscribers, appreciate the love as always. But let's jump right into the list, starting with Sunday. So I did a first impressions video on this fragrance a while back, and it's actually from another YouTuber, Ash over at Gensense. They have since gone out of business, Galleria Parfums, which my understanding was just sort of a name branded under Ash and associated with Gensense. They're no longer in business. So they had bottles for like $51. At one point, these were selling for $200. Scent I'm talking about is Dreamwoods from Galleria Parfums. Great atomizer. I really like this one quite a bit. Creamy, sweet woods, lots of fruits up top. It has a tonka note in here that comes across slightly powdery, but blends really well with the other elements of this. I also get more of a sweet cardamom than a spicy cardamom, which I quite like. I get that in other fragrances, and I like that quite a bit. And it also has a cleanliness to it, a cleanness to it. So although sweet, I think does sweet really well. It's never overdone. It never is too sweet or cloying to me. However, definitely sweeter than I had initially anticipated with this fragrance. But once that patchouli comes in, it gives this rich, dark, chocolatey edge to it that just really rounds out the scent. Now, in terms of performance, I get really good performance that lasts pretty much all day on me. Not a massive projector. It does sit a bit closer to the skin as the day goes on. I know that at one point, again, as I said in the intro, this was a $200 bottle of fragrance. It's not worth $200, but if you guys can manage to get it for around the $50 price point, like what I paid, that's a steal. I think you're getting a real high quality scent that is evident when you first spray this. You can sort of smell the difference in quality than your typical, I guess, lower end to mid end designers. You're gonna get closer to something like maybe a Mancera. Nonetheless, really nice, well done. And I appreciate this one, and I'm glad to have it in the collection. Dreamwoods from Galleria Parfums. On Monday, I went with one of my favorite fragrances from this particular house. The scent I'm talking about is Hugo Boss Selection. Awful atomizer, especially compared to the Dreamwoods, but the scent is really nice. Opens with a really nice blend of bitter grapefruit along with this sweet and juicy mandarin orange, which I absolutely love the opening on this. A cheap, versatile, all-arounded type fragrance that really any guy can pull off. When I say versatile, I mean versatile. You can dress this up, wear a suit with it, go to an event, or you could wear this casually on the weekend out with your friends. The drawback to this, or if you want to look at it that way, is that the performance just isn't there. It's a below average performer, maybe lasts 3 or 4 hours on me. But with that being said, I think there's a place for fragrances like this in any person's collection. I mean, if you really, especially if you have a larger collection, if you want to wear a couple different fragrances as the day goes on, this would be a great office scent, great way to kick off the day. And then by the time you're done with work, you can wear something that evening and not have to worry about showering or smelling like this all day. With the short longevity, I can appreciate that. And there are days where I just want something that doesn't project like a monster and last all day. This fits that role. It gives off this cool, refreshing, woody vibe that I think would work best in the warmer months. But really, again, all season, versatile type fragrance. I like this one quite a bit. Hugo Boss Selection. On Tuesday, I went with many people's favorite Aventus cologne, and probably my favorite Aventus cologne of the ones I've smelled. Scent I am talking about is Armav's Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. Now that is a mouthful for a name. Not a great atomizer, but for me, like a fine wine, this one is getting better with age. Some of the harsher, cleaner quality type lemon that I experienced when I first bought this is essentially gone. I don't get that. And it's much more rounded, much more rich and just not harsh. Creamy, sweet lemon citrus with musk and woods is essentially what this fragrance is. Now, if you're looking for a smokier replication of an older Aventus batch, that is not this. You will not get that with this. So when I hear others say that this is a smoky version, I don't necessarily get that. Every nose is a little different. For me, this is more of a dry wood, more dry woods than smoky woods. Those dry woods, though, do a fantastic job of rounding out this scent, really blending well, again, with those creamy citruses up top and that musk, a little bit of sweetness. All-day performer. I love this fragrance. I get compliments on this fragrance, and for $60, well worth your money. If you want to smell like Aventus, but on a more inexpensive budget, this is definitely one you want to look at. Club de Nuit Intense Man. You know a fragrance is good, especially when it's new, and I've worn it back-to-back weeks, and that's exactly what I did with this next fragrance. I absolutely love this one. Can't believe I waited as long as I did to add it to the collection, but I'm happy I did, and I'm happy I got it at the price I did, which is around $40 on discount at Marshall's. Scent I am talking about is Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. Gave an extra spray because I love this stuff so much. I want to smell it in the air. I wore this on appointments on Wednesday. So this is really ideal. Smells incredible. Getting it now. This is really ideal for those moments where if you're meeting with clients, if you have a job where you meet with clients or multiple people throughout the course of a day, maybe new people, people that you do not know, this scent is going to be perfect for that. As a bright and citrusy opening that leads directly into this really soapy, clean heart that is headlined with a 1-2 punch of neroli and lavender. But what I really love about this fragrance, which just sort of steps away from the typical bar soap cleanliness type fragrance, is the addition of the tobacco in here. It adds this additional dynamic. It adds a warmth and sweetness to this that really just makes this a unique fragrance. I love this stuff. It's very reminiscent of the 90s. So it does have that 90s sort of vibe to it, that quality of the 90s, which I love because it's nostalgic for me. It lasts a full work day, and I'm so happy to have it. This is going to get a ton of wear in the spring and summer. I think it's a great work scent, but I also think it would be a really great casual scent as well. Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. So this one is a cheapie that I just picked up in my last rack store haul. So if you guys have not watched that video, I will be sure to link it here. Picked up a couple in that video that we're going to be talking about today. But this one is that I wore on Thursday. Taxco from Milestone. This, I can already tell you, nice little cheapie gem. $15, incredible atomizer. Can't get over that atomizer. This is an impossibly inexpensive alternative to YSL's Tuxedo, which is a $270 fragrance for 125 ml, and this smells like it. Now, I'm going to be doing an official comparison video between this and a couple other, I guess, clones of YSL Tuxedo, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to tell you where this sort of stacks up amongst those. However, I can already tell you, $15, you're not losing out on anything. Ambery vanilla with spice and woods is essentially this entire fragrance. I do get some patchouli as this dries down later. It's less chocolatey patchouli, more rich, sort of dark earthiness to it. Absolutely does not smell like a $15 fragrance. So that's, for me, is just, all right, sign me up. If it doesn't smell cheap, and it is cheap, what else could you really ask for? Now, the performance is a little bit deceiving. I sprayed fairly heavy because I couldn't really smell it at first. I think there might have been some nose blindness going on. However, as I was working at my desk, I could smell this coming off of me for like hours. 2-3 hours, it was still projecting almost a little too much, so I may have oversprayed it. It does sit closer to the skin as it dries down, so I'm still gauging longevity and how long it actually lasts. I was testing something else that day as well, so I might have to wear this again, give it another full wear before I give sort of my official final thoughts on performance. But nonetheless, for $15, you really can't go wrong with this. Really happy to have this in the collection. Taxco from Milestone. So as I mentioned, I grabbed 2 fragrances in that last rack store haul. This is the second fragrance I grabbed. Another flanker from a really popular line, scent I'm talking about, is Davidoff's Cool Water Reborn. This one is really aromatic and green. Very nice. A little different in the air than on skin. In the air, it's more reminding me of something like Cool Water Parfum, which is more of a blue type fragrance. However, on skin, this is much more green to me. Has a slight cooling quality to this, with that green woodiness probably coming from that rosemary, some pepper, lots of ambroxan, which is no surprise coming from this line, a ton of ambroxan, which is also, I think, sort of its drawback. As unique as it is, it's also really synthetic, more synthetic than any other cool water that I've really smelled. That quality of it is not appealing to me. There are some synthetics that are really nice, really well done, and adds to the fragrance. I think unfortunately for Reborn, it draws away from it and it makes it a little bit more almost headache inducing. But with that, it adds incredible lasting power. I mean, I smelled this the next day on my skin, this musky sort of dry down to it. So if performance is all that matters to you, this is definitely one that you want to look at. However, that syntheticness might be too much for some, especially if you've been collecting for a while and you have a lot of higher quality fragrances. This one just might be a no-go. The scent itself is nice, just too synthetic for me, and probably not one that would get a lot of wear. Davidoff's Cool Water Reborn. Finally, on Saturday, I went with a fragrance that was suggested to me by you guys. One of the Middle Eastern fragrances that you guys thought that I should really grab and try out, and I did do a first impressions of this as well. And I'm so glad you guys mentioned this because I absolutely love this fragrance. The scent I am talking about is Supremacy and Oud from Afnan. This one has a softness to it that I can't quite describe while projecting and being present and very sort of head turning. Sweet, refined, woody spiciness that is alluring at the same time. The oud here doesn't come across as particularly medicinal or synthetic. It does, however, come across a little bit nutty and animalic to my nose. The musk here is also slightly dirty, slightly sweaty, but that is what I think adds so much intrigue to this scent. It makes it alluring and makes people turn their heads and say, what are you wearing? That literally happened to me in the supermarket. If you guys watch my video, I talk about my experience wearing this for the first time. Amazing response from people, and just one of those fragrances that, again, even if compliments don't mean everything to you, expect them when you're wearing this because it is unique, it is different, has a really nice sillage. So the sillage is what is going to be sort of getting people's attention on this. For me, this is more of a night out type fragrance, cooler weather, but I can see this being pulled off also by a woman. It's unisex to me. It's really an all-day performer and really great price for what you're getting. You're getting a high quality fragrance that lasts and smells unique. And that to me is sort of the sweet spot. Love this one, Supremacy and Oud from Afnan. That's all I have today, guys. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what your weekly rotation was, whether you wore 1 or 10. I'd love to know what you guys are wearing. If you like what you saw today, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, hit that bell notification so you are updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.